Hi, it's me, James Lott Jr., Super Organizer, and this is another edition of the Super Organizer Man Professional Organizing Industry Series. And I want to talk to you about consultations. Consultations. And some of the things that I've really learned about, because this happens all the time. So if you're an organizer watching this, you probably can relate. If you're a new organizer in a business, take notes. And if you're somebody who's watching, who may be a client or potential client who's a hired organizer, this is for you. Now, there's a plane flying over because it's raining here in Los Angeles, rarely ever happens, and the planes are taking off the opposite direction. Here in LA, I live near the airport, but they fly out over the ocean and they curve and they turn to where they need to go. When it rains, I guess, they fly inward. They don't go over the ocean. Some weird thing. So that's a little side note for you guys. So consultations. I have been in many business industries, from sales to nursing to retail, food service. I've done all kind of industries. And I've learned that this industry is very much an emotional-based industry. What do I mean? So I get this all the time. A phone call or an email, someone finds me through any various ways you can find. I'm James Lott Jr. is everywhere. Super Organizer is everywhere. They find me, and I go, hi. And the two questions I get asked all the time, many organizers might get this: how much do you charge? What are your rates? And how long do you think it will take? Now, I always liken this to a doctor. A doctor cannot diagnose you properly without knowing all the facts, number one. But number two, they really shouldn't do it over the phone. They should actually see you. I will never, ever, I've been in business 11 years, I will never, ever tell somebody over the phone without seeing their space how much it's going to basically kind of cost and how long it's going to take. That's the most important. The cost is one thing, but the importance on telling someone how long it's going to take, gotta be careful with that. I usually ask a few more questions and then set up a consultation in person. That's where I've learned the most from, because people are coming to you, for the most part, from an emotional place. Meaning either they have to move, or they're downsized, or they're getting married, divorced, kids, death, they want to declutter. Their house is a mess, declutter. There are some corporate clients and there are some business ones that's a little different. But for the most part, I know for me, it's been mostly personal services. So they come to you in various states of emotional. Various states for emotionally in various states. Something like that. I do have a degree. I have several degrees. I just whatever. It's the planes. It's crazy. So they come to you, sometimes embarrassed, ashamed, nervous, unsure. They may not know what an organizer is. And I did a previous show where I talked about we have to kind of like take the lead in showing them what it is you will do and not do. That's a previous episode of the show. You can find all my episodes on JLJ Media on YouTube. All right, so I usually say, okay, I need to know a little more first. I kind of take down notes, and they'll say, I had one recently, I have a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom. And we got into kind of a back and forth because she kept wanting to know the money at the time. Now, both are very valuable. I completely understand that. And for you organizers out there, be very careful, because I know you're trying to get money too. You're an entrepreneur. You're trying to make that money. But you have to be careful on your reputation, because the last thing I want to have happen is you tell somebody, oh, I can probably do that. Oh, it's a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom, without seeing it fully. And then people will say to you, well, I think it's super messy. And in some cases, as you organizers know, it's not as bad as they think. And in some cases, it's worse than they said. So there's two different things going on. So you have to see it. You can't just, you have to see it. But if you say something like, oh, 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom, it's not that bad, I can get it done in like 3 days. You know what's going to happen. 2 days come and you have 5 days more worth of work in you. And then they think you're trying to scam them and get more money out of them. Or they have a specific time period or time crunch. You told them 3 days, and in 3 days you're not done, and what they wanted to have happen didn't happen, so they're dissatisfied. Either way, I don't want anything happening to your business. And that's what I had to learn. It's like, no, don't do that. I did it a couple times early on, and it bit me in the ass. Excuse my language. It just bit me in the ass, and I couldn't come out. I had to kind of come out of it. Like, so I had to come out of it. You don't want to put yourself in any situation that's uncomfortable for you or for them. I mean, even for them. You don't want them to feel uncomfortable either. So the consultation is very important. You have to meet with them. You have to go in person. And then do your best assessment on how long you think it might take. And be realistic. If you can't do it within 5 days, let them know. Don't say, oh, yeah, I think I can do it. Like, no, if you think it's like, I can't do it in 5 days, don't do it in 5 days. Do not lead the client on at all. And again, you may lose a sale, but you want to be honest. Also, I know that it's an entrepreneur. It's hard. You want to make this is your career. You want to make this you make your money off of this. You got to pay rent. You got bills. You got gas. You got for your car. You don't want to lose out, but you can't. I've just had to learn that some people also, when you do a consultation, they may not hire you right away. Doesn't necessarily mean they got off to somebody else. Some do. Sometimes you meet with people and they're like, you're not the right fit, and that's fine. But some folks, this happened to me like 4 or 5 times over the years, where we met, it was great, it was good, and then I didn't hear anything. Do a little follow-up call. Oh yeah, I'm gonna get you. But then it's happened like 5 times in my 11 years. I've gotten calls back later, and said now they're ready. I had one. It took her 3 months. One, they went out of town for a month, so they were like they were ready to do this. They were gung ho, but they had gone out of town, so they couldn't really hire me, and they hired me a month later. I had one that was 6 months later. One that was actually a year later. She had remembered me and was like, "Are you still organizing?" I'm like, "Yes, I'm still organizing," and hired me a year later. But usually a few months. And I've had some that they meet with you and then maybe 2 or 3 weeks they finally hire you. That happens too. So you kind of have to like let God, so to speak. Just go in, show them your best, show them who you are, and then let it go. Because again, it's a personal decision to hire an organizer. And I had to learn that it's not just sales but I know it's hard for you. You're an organizer trying to get stuff. But if you're a person who's a potential client who's watching this, remember, we can't fully tell you how much and how long until we see the situation, walk through with you, find out what you want and what you would like to have happen. And we got to find, we're also watching for cues on what kind of person you are. Some folks want to touch everything. Some folks are not sentimental at all. They're like, I just want this room cleared out, clear it. We also to find out if they have other people that they live with, and you need their consultation, you need their permission. There's a lot of things you got to find out situation-wise, what's going on, if it's worth your time. You're interviewing them, and they're interviewing you. It's a mutual. I always say I work with my clients. I don't work for them, or I'm not above them. We work together to make their space the best it can be. And that's all I was going to tell you. It comes up for me all the time, and I thought it was a topic I should bring up for us. You can follow me, the Super Organizer, on Twitter at the Super O, the Super Organizer on Facebook. I have a show, almost 5 years running, the Super Organizer Show, the SOS Show with James Lott Jr. It's on all streaming services, everything you can think of, it's on there. And there are Facebook pages for that too, and a Twitter page for that also. I have my first organizing book coming out. I'm a little nervous, but it's coming out this month. Stay tuned for those details. I'll have a name and all that stuff. I'm working to finish the touches on it. That'll be out this month. And I have on TikTok. If you're watching TikTok, I know people think it's crazy and silly, but I post organizing tips on there, and I get lots of views. My limited series is called How to Get Super Organized in Under a Minute. And I put it on there, and it's been so much fun, and I've got great response. So that's on TikTok, James Lott Jr. on TikTok. I think that's all my stuff. I think it's everything. And take care.